Well, hello everyone. How are you doing? Hey, it's Friday, and definitely the holiday season is in full swing. So those of you who, I don't know, got a 4-day, 5-day, 6-day, 7-day, 8-day days off, enjoy it. And the rest of us enjoy it. Hello, Franny. See that you're in Atlanta. Marcus and Marion, Rebecca, good to see you. Shoots for par. Hello. How are you doing? Shannon Kling. Hello. Good to see you, my dear. Claire. Hello. Jerry, how the heck are you? No matter where you are in the world, I trust that you are well, and I just invoke favor upon your life. Great favor. We're coming into the winter solstice. For me, it's at 3:23 local time. So, and it looks like it's going to be about 62, 65 degrees, which is too warm. But we're going to talk about that. So, True Heart, how are you doing? True Heart, by the way, Glenn Fry, great song, after your handle. So 33 Kingdom, hello. Cheesesteak. Lisa C, Valerie, how are you? Universal Babe. Excuse me. There's a little cough going around, and I have seemed to avoided it. Yeah, speaking positive affirmation. So anyway, how the heck are you doing other than that? Do you get the feeling things have changed? I think you could probably answer that in many different ways. I would say affirmative, 10-4, bet your ass, are you kidding me? Seriously, duh, there's this, it's one of those, almost a rhetorical statement or a question. Yeah, things have changed, and, change is inevitable. We know that. Every day we change. Change is slow, progressive. That's how it is. That's how we perceive it. But, when we start perceiving that which we measure our progression by and say, whoa, wait a minute. Something ain't right here. Yeah, and it's everywhere. I want to say hello to my good friend in Knoxville, Tennessee. Got your email, my friend, and yeah. So salute you as well, my friend. So thank you for the email. Keep standing strong out there, my friend. So and welcome everyone else. Thank you, moderators. You moderators are the great. Yeah, I never even look at the conversation because y'all just do a great job, and everyone here, well, I hope it's interesting. So, all right, let's get to some things really quick here. We're going to follow this. I think every time that I come on live, we're going to look at this. So this is, again, earthnullschool.net. Giving us the telemetry, the data of what the jet stream is doing. This is, and to give you an idea, when, let's see how fast these winds are. Well, there is 68 miles. Let's see, 76.6 miles. So these are some pretty, there's 81. And take a look at this, folks. This is what's setting up. Remember yesterday where we saw that this was over here, and it looked like there was basically two vortices opening up? It was getting set up for here. And let me show you something. This is a great tool. I really think all of y'all should see this. It's a great tool. So here we can do from the pole view. Now this is what's, hey, you want to get sick? Watch the center. You're getting seasick. No, I don't stop doing that. So this is the big deal. So Europe, you want to know why you guys are so cold? You can see why. And so this is what everyone, all the meteorologists, all of them, government officials as well, and the commodity markets are looking at this as already. I can tell you that you look at the futures on home heating oil for January, they're already starting to go up. And if this second bifurcated polar vortex sets up over the United States, folks, right now there's a glut of oil on the market. You're probably seeing it at your gas stations. Here in Denver, the average price is about $1.99. Probably go down more. But again, if this sets up, which I do believe it's going to, if I was in Vegas again, I'd bet on this. You're going to see fuel costs going up. Count on it. Okay. Cool, eh? These are the kind of stuff that, when you think about it, it's just so awesomely cool. Again, now this is from the equator view. You can just see how the currents of air up here in the northern hemisphere, and this is what happens in the southern hemisphere in the summertime when it's up here. It's their winter time. Goes to tell you again, we got a lot of listeners from Australia, New Zealand, I think even Tasmania. I don't know, but I think we do. Anyway, the northern hemisphere is definitely heating up, and you guys in Australia just getting your butts kicked. I don't know what's going on. Let me see what it's down here near the surface level. Get an idea. And there you can see the difference. You can see it even up here. And I know, like, y'all are really, I dig this stuff. I don't know. So here, you can see how the air currents are starting to up. Anyway, check it out. Well worth it. All right. So let's go and look at some headlines here. I remember in the 80s, the devastation of AIDS, Freddie Mercury, Live Aid. I remember that. I wasn't there, but I remember watching it at home, MTV. So anyway, look at this. And what was interesting about this, as we get more and more into CRISPR, splitting of genes, altering the genetic code within a gene, there are going to be benefits. This is one of them. Scientists have succeeded in destroying the HIV-infected cells. It's just a matter of figuring out the code. Anything to do with the body, that's what it is. It's a code. We just aren't smart enough yet. This is going to continue to be a story, not to be the bearer of negative energy, but hey, I believe being forewarned is to be forearmed. There's going to be a recession next year. My question is it going to become a depression? I don't know. I'll be talking a little bit more about that next week. It's going to happen. Trust me, there is going to be a recession most likely globally. Many different markets are already experiencing it. And I thought it was encouraging. I get reports from the Federal Reserve that maybe the Fed's going to rethink their strategy of these preposterous rate hikes. Anyway, this thing, look at folks, this is a robot. And peppers, if any of you have grown them, I grow them. I love bell peppers. And as you know have to know how to pick them. Otherwise, you'll actually damage the fruit. And the vegetable, excuse me. Well, I don't know, pepper. I think you have to check into that. One of those questions, huh? So, yeah. And the article goes on to state that the reason why this is such a benefit is that farmers, it's, believe it or not, folks, in some cases, produce is going to rot in the fields because in some cases, farmers can't get laborers to pick the fruit or the vegetables. Go figure. Anyway, it's going to become more and more of a big deal. Hey, folks, how about this one? Witchcraft moves to mainstream in America. This is Yahoo News, as Christianity declines and has Trump in its sight. So this is really amazing when you read this article. I'd encourage y'all to go check it out. Witchcraft is thriving in the U.S. with an estimated 1.5 million Americans now identifying as witches, more than the total number of Presbyterians. As Christianity declines across the country, paganism has swung into the mainstream, and witchcraft, paraphernalia for sale on every high street and practice normalized across popular cultures. In the past 2 years, it has become darkly politicized. Are we going to see a resurgence of the Dark Ages? I mean, I think this is the greatest fear of all religions, is that when their people realize what the story is, the gig is up, that, we're spiritual creatures. We just are. You're going to find your path, so to speak, with or without such guidance as religion, formal or informal. We're spiritual creatures. And there was a story that came out today. They found an ancient curse in Turkey, dated, I think it's 4,600 years ago. And this was about capturing a creature called the destroyer. Now, I think it was talking about an insect, but the fire. It was quite interesting. So you think about what's happening here now. We have this resurgence. Listen, I know I've been called a few names by a few of my former friends in that belief system, but I contend that it's just natural. That's what we do. So, and speaking of this, come on, I don't know where this city is, in Alabama, but my goodness. When the police department begins to blame Satan for the spike in homicides, I challenge you, sir, whoever made this comment, show me where Satan ever commanded one human to kill another human. Now, I can show you in that Christian Bible that you believe upon where your God has ordered the death of millions. It ain't no Satan there, sir. So let's wake up Let's see things for what they are, and let's move on along. Here's this ancient Aramaic incantation describes the devourer that brings fire to its victims. And when you look at this, I think you can pretty much agree that, well, I think that it's 28 years of age. So let's just take a look at this. So I think you could really see what's going on here. This is a scorpion. You ever been stung by a scorpion? Guarantee it feels like fire. Oh, yeah. There's a centipede in here. Other insects that would definitely invoke fire, devour. And this incantation actually, you would actually apparently use the blood of the devourer that was used to treat someone who appears to have been suffering from the fire of the devourer. I lived in Texas, and all of y'all in Texas, I know we got a lot of listeners down there, a lot of folks in Houston and Austin and Dallas, Fort Worth, etc. And you ever step in a pile of fire ants, guarantee it. And, you know, if you're like me, you can go into anaphylactic shock, kill your ass. So, yeah, anyway, just shows you how sometimes we take things of the past and blow them so out of proportion when really it's just common sense. You know, that's what medicine men would do, I'm sure, is to cure the ails. Isn't this something? Ring of fire volcanoes erupting is biblical sign of end of days, claims Rabbi. Folks, I'm just going to lay it out this. I have seen this same stuff spoken about in the 70s, then I saw it again in the 80s, saw it again in the 2000s. Oh, the 90s was hysterical land. I mean, the book of Revelation was coming to pass, and oh my God, dogs and cats were living together, and you know, it was just, yeah. Now, is it getting active? Yeah. Yeah. Cycle, Rabbi, cycle. Get the end of days out. Listen, one thing I will say about these folks that claim the end of days, you know, hold the banners out and do the fear porn and try to get everyone all wrapped around and Twitter-patered and what have you. Folks, in one way or the other, it's all of our end of days. None of us are going to be living forever, darling. No, sweetheart. We in one sense of the word, this is your end of days. Now, it's subjective to how many days you got left. We all got a portion. Anyway, now, changes? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Again, prophecy. Ask yourself about prophecy. If prophecy has 1 ounce of credibility, then that says predestination trumps free will. And I'll be glad to debate anybody on that one. I mean, face it, if now you can be psychic. See, psychic, I think, is different than someone proclaiming to be a prophet. A prophet of what? The future? Really, Sherlock? Yeah, we all can do that. And, you know, if it's by making predictions, well, sweetheart, AI got those guys beat, man. And there ain't no sanctification of some unexistent, non-seen, unseen God. The following one was a commentary brought to you by the creator of this channel. Anyway, I digress. Now, folks, this is how we're changing. There was a time when I first entered into the corporate world that if you ever got caught lying, you were sent packing. You had no credibility. There was no opportunity for you to advance in management. Now, there was competition, dirty tricks, all that. Yeah. I come up to the marketing and sales and competition. So today, I did a story yesterday, if you remember, that Generation Z, they are being taught lying is normal. And when the truth no longer has any foundation, wow, you want to talk about things changing? Think about this. So if we accept politicians who lie to us, and in fact, their credibility goes up when they're lying right to our face, what does that say about our level of consciousness collectively? I'm not talking about you and I, those in our enclave. This has far-reaching implications. It apparently appears now in most corporate environments, lying is rewarded. I read in one particular study of one large tech company, lying was attributed to an individual who was aggressive, willing to take risk, and sacrifice all in order to reach the company goals. Hell, let's just stick a medal on him, pat him on the back, give him a cigar, and give him in the corner office. We want to make him our CEO. Well, a politician is voted today not on integrity, not on their IQ level, not on their ability to be rational and cognitive, but on their ability to be a liar, a deceiver. So we elect liars and deceivers. What do you think the rest become? Folks, this is getting to be crazy land, where lying becomes the norm. It is now estimated the average person tells, are you ready for this? 5.5 lies per hour. I work pretty much quietly just by myself. So I'm thinking to myself, oh, wait a minute. I'm not lying to myself, am I? I don't know, folks. Maybe it's 5.5 a day. I'll accept that more than an hour. I can't see that. But folks, this is part of it. And we can't just become so raw, cavalier and go, oh, well, it's just the way it is. Yeah. And if it's this way now today, holy crap, what is it going to be tomorrow? It's like asking your doctor, well, how bad is it, doctor? Fine. I tell you what, you'll be up in no time at all. And he knows you'll be dead by tomorrow. Yeah, that becomes. This one here, folks, you have to look at the small things. Remember, it's the small things in life that will kill you. Yeah, in the end, yeah. Unless it's some other, outside the body. Natural causes are because, well, your body turned on you. But look at this. Tennessee man diagnosed with human version of mad cow disease. This is a sad story. I got to tell you, but this is what really shocked me, was the fact that they estimate 300 people a year in the United States gets this thing, and it's highly contagious. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All of you who have Alexa, oh, well, they say I think there's 64 million people, is that right, that have the Alexa device in their homes? 43 million. Folks, this thing is getting, I mean, this is the classic rat in the maze. And it's AI that's got the humans in the maze and learning from it. I don't know why someone would want this. I mean, I really don't. But hey, to each his own. But when you start, this thing looks at chatbots, and we're going to do a whole thing on chatbots because, well, chatbots are just, yeah. Any of you who know what chatbots are, actually, Jeff Bezos had to send the order down to actually, how shall we say, euthanize one of the chatbots that Amazon has been using. And this thing is getting really weird. We get stories now of allowing other people to drop in on moments of intimacy on another user. I mean, how freaky is that? It just freaks me out, folks, because I see this thing from a consciousness value. That this machine, this unseen, ethereal entity would be watching me 24/7, that would have the ability to even hear intimacy, the most intimate moments that no machine should be listening to. I don't know. This is all part of it. All part of it. Now, this really just peeves off a lot of people. But again, as we begin to expose the lies, the myths of which religion has been built upon, suppressing the truth, suppressing knowledge, altering history, rewriting history. Fortunately, technology is even smarter than any theologian. Listen, folks, every word in every holy book was either automatic writing or channeling. No in-betweens, because if it's an in-between, it's nothing more than an opinion, a theory. Here, Littlefoot, because we've got the human genome now, we can do this. We're down to the mitochondrial DNA, folks. We're becoming literally God. And now we're beginning to understand that how you got that RH factor in the sapiens bloodstream. Yeah, listen, this validates me that someone came down and started messing in the kitchen. Or, which I did a video on this, sapiens are not of this originally of this planet. We'll talk about this. I found this one really odd. So here in Denver, where I don't live in Denver itself, it's just for a piece up the road. So this will start, and I believe they're going to do it. I've been following this, and now I look at back in the 70s, all those times of when we went out collecting mushrooms, I think I know why we were so laid back. Besides that, we were just Zen people to begin with. I mean, we really were. I hung around with some really, really great people. We were truly the nonviolent, lived in the communes, even lived in the nudist camp for a while. Anyway, I digress. But yeah, I'm going to tell you, we're going to find that what our medicine men, the shaman, our high priestess, our however you want to take it, it goes way back. They knew this as well, instinctively, that this fungi had the toxin, had a very medicinal effect on the human brain. We're changing. This is all part of the process. Think about it. By 2020, I project, because of the recession, and because they're going to have to find a way to pacify large percentages of the population, that you will see rapid movement in the legalization of marijuana nationwide. Of course, it's going to be heavily taxed, but that's fine. I think you're going to see other things that begin to move in the mass sedation of the population. I think it's going to be by necessity. So anyway, and the last one, Putin is saying, folks, you best get ready. Yeah. Weird stuff, folks. I didn't make it up. It's all out there. And I don't know if I know a number of you, because I got some emails on it when you listen, the Steiger Perspective over on the Artist First network. I think death has changed, folks. I really do. I think there's enough evidence that very well could substantiate the hypothesis of the possibility that this has actually occurred. When you think about spectral energy transference, many of you wrote in the comments, which I think were just outstanding. God, I tell you, y'all are just some of the best people around. I don't care what anyone says. Y'all are just such fluid, cognitive, outside the box type of thinking. It's fabulous. And I contend that when we saw the evidence of the shadow people, listen, folks, we're still trying to figure out what death is. We're still trying to figure out what consciousness is. A thing that's been debated for thousands and thousands of years and still being debated. What is sentience? What makes awareness? Is it because sapiens have consciousness? And if consciousness is the trump card, so to speak, then consciousness relies again primarily on the past. I mean, that's what consciousness does. It collects memories. It has the unique ability through discipline of projecting the future, but the consciousness, for all its worth and for what's been wrote and said and done about it, consciousness is nothing more than the collection of memories. The awareness. That's why we anticipate birthdays, Christmas, holidays, because consciously we know that we'll be storing that into our memory. I bet you never thought of it that way, did you? Because I contend that consciousness is not future-based. It's barely present based. And then when you begin to think about that, the other part of what we spend most of our spectral energy on is trying to project the future. Isn't that what prophets do? Isn't that what seers do? We all do it. It's part of who we are. And if you think about the fact that technology, and listen, we've had discussions and we'll continue to have discussions on the continued transmutation of humanity to transhumanism. I don't see it slowing down. And if you add the factor now that there's this thing called spectral energy, spiritual energy that they've identified, and if you look at it, as I talked about at length yesterday on the radio show, and here, it's eternal energy. It would appear that if we are in fact part of the divine, a spark of the divine, however you want to phrase it, choose your vernacular, and the fact that you believe that you're going to have a life after this one, we all do, then you think about soul traps. I don't know if soul traps are the right term. I think it's more spirit traps. I don't think the soul is eternal. I think the spirit is. It's just where I'm at right now on my path. I think we got this soul thing mixed up. But the one thing I am confident of is that I am spirit. And within that construct, that implies directly that we're all immortal. And though the energy may be small, so is an atom. Now, if you have an archon, a species, a demiurge, a demigod, a god that must rely on this, this is why I think so many gods demand worshipers. Think about it. I ask every Christian I know, every Muslim, every Hindu, every person that's out there, why does God need worshipers? Well, if you have to capture that energy of the individual, that spirit energy, the more mass, the more the power, the more the collection, the more the demand for more worshipers. Think about it. And when we begin to talk about splitting of the atom, these are splitting not just of the atom, folks, it's splitting realities. I think that that's the key thing that's being missed here. When you begin to think about, we started splitting and entering interdimensions, outer dimensions. I bet it did get the attention of some intelligent beings. And the causality effect of the shadow people. Again, I can assure you, no one thought about that. And then when we begin to talk about the signals, when they went and started blowing up these devices underground, I think it's my postulation that the firmament is real. Now, I don't know how it's defined in terms of 16th century mindsets. I don't quite buy it that way, but I do believe there is such a thing as the firmament, and I think that we permanently damaged it in the ethereal realm. I think that this began to have reverberations around the quadrant of space. I think it began to have reverberations in the spiritual realm. You think about it. A spiritual realm. A spirit that could control and master and harness the atom. There's only one thing I think that's even greater than that, and that's the power of the individual spirit that has that uniqueness of being attached to the single source. Begin to play out pretty quickly, doesn't it? And if death, how it sits, I contend that if we changed the ethereal plane with these explosions, I say that we caused a rift for all the dead as well. I don't think we're dying like our ancestors did. Now, granted, we know that there have been nuclear weapons used in the past. We know that these beings used them. It's told in stories that we see through in the Bible of Sodom and Gomorrah. We see it in the Hindu. We see it throughout the world where glassification has taken place. Granted, the question is, what were they doing? Were they causing portals, rips, tears? I don't know. Certainly seems to be the power that they focus in on. And then again, I contend that when you begin to add in quantum reality into this mix, this gets really, and I think it's very feasible. If I can think it, then that tells me it's very, very it's possible it can already be. And if, as I ended out the show last night, so death left, when people die now, do they die the same way others did before the first explosions? Are humans going to be, let's say, in a different place? And is our spirit energy, that spectral energy, being harvested now? Is the day here that man will cry out for the old death? I don't know. Not sure. But it certainly seems to be something. Here's a strange thing. What if there is this loop? That the reason why we're seeing such increases of populations is that because the normal flow out has been interrupted. Don't know. Something to think about. Okay, folks, tonight, Doc Miller's on, so it's going to be fun. We've exchanged emails. Really going to look forward to see how Doc Miller looks upon the spectral energy transference with the discovery of the first detonation of the first atomic bomb on a population. It's going to be interesting, isn't it? Well, folks, thank you. I just invoke favor upon all of you. May favor be your constant companion, and may peace reign supreme in your house. And may there be nothing missing, nothing broken in your life. And that which has been stolen from you be returned sevenfold, and that which has been broken be mended as new. And enjoy the holidays, folks. You know, if you're alone, That's cool. No, I've spent many a holiday season alone, but I love myself. I'm my best friend. I have great conversations, and it's never boring up here. And if you're with family, enjoy it. I know it can be a pain in the ass at times, but enjoy it, you know, and be good. Just enjoy, love yourself, let you be the example of others. And people see you loving yourself, well, then that's the way we can begin to love others. And y'all are lovable. Man, this is the type of group you just want to give everybody a hug. So, yeah. All right. So have a great afternoon. And I'll see you this evening. And I'm looking forward to this. Doc Miller is just, he is one of the jewels of humanity. That's the way I look at it. And and I thank it. So thank you, moderators. 333. Wow. I'm going to do a show next week on these reoccurrence numbers that are just showing up all over me. How many of you are getting reoccurring numbers? I mean, it's getting weird. And 8888 is the number I'm seeing everywhere. And along with 333, it's go figure. All right, folks, I salute you. Y'all are the best. And until we meet again, remember, you are unique. Love yourself. Give yourself a hug. High five. Say, yeah. That's what you do.